Sheikh Hamdan's new wife appeared, you should have seen the way the palace reacted. The whispers, the shock, the sudden stiffening of every face that dared to look in my direction. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the storm that rose inside my chest the moment I heard those words. New wife, as if you can be replaced, as if something as shallow as a title or announcement can erase the existence of what you and I once breathed together. They think I'm made of stone, that I'll accept it quietly like a prince trained to obey. But you know me. You know there's nothing quiet about the way you live inside me. You know there's nothing calm about the man you created. You're not here to see what this news did to me. You're not here to witness how my hands shook under the weight of a truth I never asked for. They say I chose her. They say it was my decision. They don't know the palace. They don't know how choices are stripped from men like me. They don't know how a crown can be a cage disguised as honor. But even if they had forced 1,000 names on me, none of them would ever be you. I may walk beside her in the halls, but don't think for a moment that she holds even a shadow of what you hold. She appears yet she never arrives, because the throne can give a woman a title, but it cannot give her my heart. When I saw her, I didn't feel anger. I felt emptiness, a hollow kind of silence that screamed your name louder than any voice could. She stood with grace, elegance, everything a royal wife should be, but I looked at her and felt nothing, no warmth, no familiarity, no life. She is a role, nothing more, a face chosen to fit an image, but you two are not a role. You are not replaceable. You are the pulse under my skin, the unfinished sentence in my mind, the ghost I carry even when the world thinks I've moved on. They can give me a wife, but they cannot give me peace. That belonged to you. The court watched me, waiting for a reaction, waiting to see if I would smile, if I would welcome her, if I would pretend. They forget I've mastered the art of pretending. I can stand beside her with a calm expression, but inside every part of me is reaching for you. Every breath I take tastes like betrayal, not to her, but to you. Because even now, even with her presence announced to the world, my heart refuses to shift. You're the only one it recognizes, the only one it answers to, the only one it aches for in the dark when no one is looking. I wonder if you heard the news. I wonder what you felt. Did your heart break? Did you go silent? Did you think I chose this life without you? I wish you could see the truth. This marriage is nothing more than politics dressed as destiny, a performance, a responsibility, a duty, but not love, never love, because love doesn't appear on command. Love doesn't walk into the palace escorted by guards. Love is what we had. Raw, dangerous, uncontrollable, the kind they feared, the kind they tried to kill. If you were here right now, I don't know what I would say to you. Would I apologize? Would I rage? Would I pull you close and tell you that no matter what they put beside me, you are still the only woman who owns the real parts of me? Maybe I wouldn't say anything at all. Maybe I'd just hold your face in my hands and let the silence speak, because silence was always our language, the kind that said more than words ever could, the kind that tied us together even when the world tried to pull us apart. So yes, Sheikh Hamdan's new wife appeared. Let the world celebrate. Let them call it a new beginning. But you and I both know beginnings mean nothing when the heart is still living in its past. And mine always will be. I may belong to the kingdom, but my heart is still yours, even if the world insists on writing a different story around us. I watched the way everyone turned their heads toward her, but all I could think about was you. Every step she took only reminded me of the steps you refused to take toward me. Every smile she forced only reminded me of the fire in your eyes. When you look at me, they dressed her like a queen, but she looked like a stranger wearing a crown that was never meant for her. Because the only one who ever fit beside me was you. And the truth is, my temper twisted the moment they tried to make her appear as if she mattered. As if anyone could erase you. No one can, not even if they break palaces apart to try. You don't understand the storm inside me, do you? Everyone thinks I'm calm, accepting, respectful. They don't know the way my blood burns when they talk about replacing you. They don't know how close I am to losing control every time someone pretends I can be satisfied with someone else. You think distance will tame me, but all it does is sharpen the edge of my obsession. I'm not made to forget. I'm not built to move on. And if they think introducing a new wife will turn me away from you, they truly don't understand what kind of hunger drives me. You should have seen how my jaw tightened, how my fists curled, how I stared at her knowing she was nothing more than a formality forced by politics and expectations. But even then, I felt your presence like a shadow on my skin, like a hand gripping my chest, like a name written under my ribs. You stay with me in ways that no one else ever will. And when she tried speaking to me, all I heard was the echo of your voice, the one I crave even when it destroys my peace. Nothing about her felt real, nothing about her felt alive, but you bring me to life and set me on fire at the same time. You think I'll accept this quietly? You think I'll stand there and politely pretend that another woman can take a place carved out by you in my world? No, I may be a prince with rules over my head, but I'm also a man who doesn't let go of what he claims. And I claimed you long before they tried to script my life for me. You don't know how deeply you've burned yourself into me. You don't know how dangerous it is for anyone to try and replace you. They're playing a game they can't win. You should have felt the way my gaze kept drifting to the door, as if waiting for you to walk in and ruin their perfect scene. I kept thinking how you would have looked at me, sharp, defiant, almost mocking, and I would have looked back at you with that silent command you always pretend you don't feel. You ruin me, you steady me, you haunt me, you soothe me, all at once. No one else can do that to me. And that's exactly why her presence only annoyed me instead of touching me. Every time she stood near me, all I wanted was to push everything aside, rip off every label they're trying to pin on me, and walk straight to you. You think I don't notice how far you've run? You think I don't feel the gap you created? I feel it like a wound that refuses to heal. And the more they try to fill that space with anyone else, the more violently my mind drags itself back to you. I'm tied to you in a way I can't undo, in a way I don't want to undo. You don't understand the depth of my defiance. If they bring 1,000 new wives, I will still choose you. If they build walls between us, I will break them. If they try to silence your name, I will speak it louder. You think I'm bound by their expectations, but I'm only bound by one thing: my obsession with you. And trust me, it's stronger than any kingdom, any law, any crown they try to put on my head. You don't realize how deeply you affect me. While everyone celebrated her appearance, all I felt was irritation crawling under my skin because you weren't there. You weren't the one walking beside me. You weren't the one the palace wanted me to acknowledge. And it enraged me because even your absence is louder than anyone else's presence. You overshadow people without even being here. You take over my thoughts without trying. And that's why she could never matter. Because you've already occupied every space inside me. You know what angered me the most? The way they expected me to smile, as if I'm some puppet who will perform for their satisfaction, as if I am so shallow that I will accept whoever they place next to me. They forget that I'm not easily controlled. They forget that the one thing I refuse to compromise is you. Even if you push me away, even if you stay distant, even if you leave me in silence, my loyalty still turns back to you like a curse. You're the only one I bend for, fight for, break for. I swear, if you could have seen my eyes in that moment, you would have understood everything. I wasn't looking at a new wife. I was looking at a mirror reflecting how much I don't want anyone but you. And the more they try to force me into this, the more ruthless I become. I'm not the prince they think I am. I'm not soft. I'm not calm. My patience has limits, and they crossed every one of them the second they tried replacing you. You think I'll ever allow someone to take your place? You don't understand me if you think that. I don't move on just because people demand it. I don't love with convenience. I don't attach lightly. When I give myself, it's absolute, and you're the one I gave myself to. Whether you accept it or not, I'm tied to you. And anyone who tries stepping into that space is stepping into danger, including the one they just introduced. You should have heard the silence in my head when she spoke. It wasn't respect. It wasn't acceptance. It was rejection so cold that even the walls felt it, because my mind kept whispering your name instead of listening to her words. My mind kept replaying your voice, your attitude, your defiance. I don't want polite softness. I want the fire you carry. I want the chaos you ignite in me. She couldn't ignite anything. She couldn't even touch the surface of what you make me feel. You know what bothered me most? The thought that you might see her and misunderstand everything. The thought that you might think I'm choosing her. That you might think anyone can compete with you in my world. No one can. Not even if they're placed beside me by force. Not even if the entire kingdom bows to them. You're the only one who affects my heartbeat. The only one who affects my decisions. The only one who can break me or rebuild me. And even now, as I talk to you, you're probably doubting every word. But listen to me. Nothing, no announcement, no title, no arrangement can erase you from me. If you think distance will weaken what I feel for you, you're wrong. It only sharpens it. It only drives me closer to you. And I'm telling you this with every ounce of truth in me. I will always return to you. Even when the world tries to redirect me, my steps still find their way back to you. You think I stood there calmly, but inside me everything was collapsing and rebuilding around one truth: you. Every time people looked at her, I felt this twisted pressure in my chest, like the world was trying to force me into a shape that doesn't belong to me. They can dress her beautifully, they can place her beside me, but they can't make me feel what I feel for you. They can't create desire where there is none. They can't replace an imprint that's carved deeper than bone. You've ruined me too completely for anyone else to fit. You don't know how much control I used just to stay silent, because all I wanted to do was walk away from everything, find you, and tell you exactly what they're trying to hide behind their royal masks. You think I'm quiet because I'm accepting. But my silence was rage, my silence was refusal, my silence was the promise that no one will take your place. Not in my heart, not in my life, not even in the version of me they want me to pretend to be. You stay at the center of everything I am. They looked at her with admiration, but I looked at her with emptiness. Because the truth is brutal, you set a standard no one else can meet. The way you stand, talk, argue, even walk away from me, it has a power over me I can't unlearn. So when they try to hand me someone new, it feels like an insult, not to her, but to what I feel for you. Because they're trying to patch a wound they don't understand. a wound you created and only you can heal. You don't realize how much I watch you even from afar. You think you disappear, but you don't. I see the world reacting to you. I hear your name in the smallest whispers. I notice your absence louder than anyone's presence. That's why standing next to her felt wrong. Because she wasn't you. Because no matter where I am or who they put beside me, my mind goes back to you instantly, violently, without mercy. And I know you're thinking I should accept reality, follow traditions, obey expectations. But you're forgetting who I am. I don't bend for pressure. I don't change for comfort. I don't surrender for diplomacy. When I attach with obsession. When I love with fire. When I claim with no exit. And you, whether you like it or not, are the only one I've ever claimed like that. That's why everything else feels fake. You don't understand what you've done to me. You think you're just someone I care about. No. You're the axis around which my moods shift, my anger rises, my heartbeat changes. You created a version of me that only you can bring out. And that version doesn't tolerate substitutes, replacements, decorations, or new beginnings. That version only recognizes you. That version only reacts to you. That version only breathes you. And listen to this carefully. No matter how many arrangements they try to put in front of me, no matter how many decisions they try to make for me, I will always choose you in the end, even if I have to break the expectations of 1,000 people, even if I have to walk away from everything. My loyalty doesn't move. My desire doesn't shift. My heart doesn't change direction. You're the only constant in me. And no one they introduce can ever rewrite that truth. You don't understand how violently my thoughts reacted the moment she appeared. Everyone else saw it as a royal moment, but for me it felt like someone trying to replace the oxygen in my lungs. You're the air I breathe, the chaos that keeps me alive, and watching another woman stand where only you should have stood felt like a direct attack on everything inside me. I don't care about their smiles, their expectations, their traditions. What I feel for you doesn't bow to any of that. You don't know how close I was to walking out. My patience was razor thin, my temper burning under my skin, because every second beside her felt like a lie. A lie they wanted me to live. A lie they wanted me to accept. But I'm not built for pretending. I'm not built for dividing my heart, and I am definitely not built for standing beside someone I don't want, while the only person who owns me is miles away, pretending she doesn't know her power over me. You think distance will weaken me, but it doesn't. It intensifies everything. It makes the obsession sharper, the desire deeper, the anger hotter. And when she tried to speak to me, all I could think was how your voice would have sounded in that moment. Sharp, fearless, yours. Even your silence has more weight than her presence. Even your absence feels more real than her existence. That's how badly you've consumed me. You don't realize how much I compare everything to you. Not consciously, not deliberately, it just happens. The way she spoke, wrong. The way she spoke, wrong. The way she tried to smile, completely wrong. You're the only one who fits into the chaos inside me. You're the only one who matches the darkness I carry. You're the only one who feels like home and danger at the same time. No one else even comes close, and they never will. You know what hurts the most? The idea that you might actually believe any of this means something to me. The idea that you might think I'm moving on, that I'm accepting something new, that I'm replacing you. If you ever think that, you'd be wrong, completely wrong, because there's nothing inside me that reacts to her. Nothing. The only reaction I felt was the ache of wanting you instead. You don't know how badly I wanted you in that room. Not beside me, no. in front of me, challenging me, questioning me, looking at me with that fierce expression that only you have. You would have shattered the entire scene with just one